Well, we'll have an update on road conditions and when we could see improvement underway.
It's the Badgers' big game in Denver today. Find out how fans are reacting. Plus, the government is ordered to release information on this week's deportations, how they could avoid having to do so. Good morning, everyone, and happy first day of spring.
Ooh, I'm so excited spring's here, but it doesn't really feel like it. We've both got our winter boots on still.
Yes, we still have winter boots on March 20th, but apparently, you know, this is the Midwest, so it's not.
Lots of ups and downs, but at least we have the ups.
Exactly.
I'll take that.
The ups on the way.
Yeah.
But if you are headed out the door this morning, if you can see our road conditions right now. We are out in the live drive. Our lead photographer, Mark Schilling, out on the road for us this morning. There are, just a couple of slick spots, but my drive-in wasn't too bad. The Beltline was good.
Yeah, at least those highways, the main roads are okay, but you can see because of the rain we had too, not only the snow, there still are some wet spots out there, so just be mindful of that, take it easy. I had some icy spots, and it's mainly Chiron because of the wind gusts that we're seeing out there still this morning. Blowing and drifting snow is still occurring out there. I would say we're not really going to see a major improvement until mid to late morning, and when temperatures rise again above freezing level. We're at 43 miles per hour right now in Madison, 43 in Janesville. The closer to the Dells and northward you go, there are lighter winds, but 25 miles per hour, 20 to 25 miles per hour is still pretty breezy. And that's really what we're going to see as a whole today. We're still going to see winds gusting between 25 and 30 miles per hour. Temps have fallen below freezing level, down to 28 now in Madison, 29 in McFarland, 31 in Middleton. We have plenty of widespread 20s, and when you factor in the wind chills, it makes it feel a bit cooler out there. But we will see the upper 30s this afternoon, not as warm as what we're tracking for tomorrow. We'll talk about how long those spring-like temps could stick around.
All right, Savannah, thank you. Stay on top of those conditions by downloading the free First One weather app. You can find that in your app store. Let's get to our top stories this morning. The government has until noon today to answer questions regarding this week's deportations. Federal Judge James Boasberg ordered the deadline, but the government can move to block him from viewing that information. That would mean invoking state secrets privilege. It allows the government ability to refuse disclosure of confidential information in civil and criminal cases. The judge blocked the deportation flights of alleged Venezuelan gang members on Saturday, but the government argued they were already in international airspace and refused to redirect. Federal courts confirmed discussions with the IRS about turning over taxpayer data to the Department of Homeland Security. Sharing this confidential data could lead to deportations of undocumented immigrants. That's because undocumented immigrants can register with the IRS and pay taxes. The agency is required to keep their private information confidential, except for specific circumstances detailed in the tax code. Well, let's get to some basketball news. Today is a big day for Badgers as they face the Montana Grizzlies in the NCAA tournament. As Greg Gard said before the team left for the trip, Badger fans travel well. Our Armand Rahman spoke to some Wisconsin faithfuls on their experience in the Mile High City.
The gathering place for Wisconsin fans, a tavern just steps away from Ball Arena, is already filling up hours before the band comes through for a pep rally. I caught up with some Badger fans before the game, and they say they're ready to bring the thunder at tip-off. Listen, breaking through the regular city sounds. The Badgers are bearing down on Denver.
I think we've got the loudest and probably the happiest.
And the earliest. Several fans showed up to watch the squad practice on the court 24 hours before tip-off.
Got to root them on for the practice, root them on for the game. We need to practice too, right?
Yeah.
So we're going to do our best to give the team spirit that they need.
Many parents that left Wisconsin haven't left behind Bucky.
Miss Wisconsin, love the Badgers.
And are passing that passion onto the next generation.
She's followed my sports allegiances since she was born, so she's loving it. We got to skip school a little bit so she could watch it.
Bryce and his son Rippin have a special connection drawing them to the red.
His cousin Lily Cron plays for the Badger women, so he's watched her play basketball a few times, but that's about it. So first time watching the men's.
It's some fans' first time and some others' tradition.
Got to see the Badgers. You got to love them.
Paul and Marla Schaefer's love transcended a 960-mile drive.
No one anticipated we would be in this position at the beginning of the season. So they've grown a lot. They've been fun to watch, and we're just soaking in it as long as we can.
So as the beer, the cheer, and the excitement starts flowing, there's only one thing to say ahead of the big game.
Go Badgers!
have more from that big pep rally here at Wally's Wisconsin Tavern later on today on News 3 Now at 4. For now, reporting in Denver, Colorado, Armand Rahman, News 3 Now this morning.
You can watch the game today at 12:30 on TNT. If the Badgers beat Montana, they'll play against whoever wins the game between VCU and BYU on Saturday. Starting today at 11, News 3 Now and CBS is your home for March Madness, but that will mean some programming changes. So if you're not a basketball fan, that's okay. You will still be able to find your favorite News 3 Now newscast, always streaming on our Channel 3000 and Channel 3000 Plus apps. That's along with our sub-channel Television Wisconsin 3.2. If you are going to be watching basketball, our newscast will air in special times following the March Madness games. The graphic on your screen explains where you can find each newscast and when. We will also have that available on our website, channel3000.com. 6:07 in local news. Parents at Lapham Elementary School are upset after learning a teacher is switching schools next school year. This is as the district is going through its annual check-in to make sure each school has enough staff. They say the teacher switching schools will be going to a school in need. But Catherine Howley is concerned for her child's education. She thinks the result, which is the class size of 27 students in second grade, is too large. That's despite district policy saying otherwise.
It's terribly, terribly hard for these children to focus and become engaged in the classroom curriculum without the support they need.
As a school system, we have an obligation to also ensure that we have adequate staffing across all of our schools. And sometimes that means we have to make adjustments from one school to another school.
The district expects to add more than 8 full-time staff for the upcoming school year. They will be shifting employees around different schools, but they are not sharing the details about which schools will gain or lose staff. Police are upping enforcement on running red lights this week. It's happening until March 23rd. During this time, Dane County law enforcement agencies will conduct extra patrol and community education on red light running. There are 2 intersections where you might see more officers. Those are at Monona Drive and Nichols Road, as well as East Wash at Fair Oaks Avenue and Wright Street. Janesville Police and Fire Departments will be conducting training at Craig High School this spring break. They want to inform the public not to get alarmed over big police and EMS presence. Training covers administering medical care to victims and essential tactics so law enforcement can identify and locate suspects. Both departments will be conducting the training from March 24th to the 28th. Coming up in sports, the Wisconsin men's basketball team is in Denver. How they're feeling ahead of the big game today.
It's definitely a cool start to the day, but we'll talk about if it'll be spring-like or when we'll finally see some warmer temperatures return to the forecast coming up.
And our Spirit of Service Week continues as we meet our top 5 veterans in the 608.
This morning, moving forward.
We're back at 6:12. Several people remain displaced after a lightning strike on Madison's far west side. The strike hit an apartment building on Modern Point Lane in Verona just before 8:30 yesterday morning. Take a look at this here. Firefighters contained the fire to the roof of the building and it did not spread further. They rescued one person trapped in an elevator and luckily there were no other injuries. But Savannah, we went from seeing storms yesterday to switching over to some snow later in the day. It's just a lot going on.
Bit of everything, yeah, unfortunately. But glad to hear no one was hurt. Hopefully everyone's safe. And as a result of the snow, we are waking up to some slick spots out there. No longer seeing any snowfall. That'll continue to be the case the rest of the day. Dry conditions, but because of the snow that we did have, icy and slick spots. And then we're still dealing with blowing and drifting snow because of those winds that have peaked around 40 to 45 miles per hour, at least in Madison and Dane County. So rural and open areas definitely allow extra time if you do have to travel those back roads. Some parking lots and basically all untreated surfaces still off to a rough start early this morning. These are all since midnight. 43 miles per hour is where we topped out in Madison, 44 in Monroe, 33 in Mineral Point, 25 in the Dells. So the further north you go, slightly less breezy, but winds are still going to be a factor all day long, even as temperatures do warm up. We're at 28 right now in Madison, but the wind chill When you factor that in, it makes it feel like we're down to the teens. That'll be in place all day because we'll still have those breezy conditions, making it feel about 10 degrees cooler or so. Our winds right now, 17 miles per hour. Again, those are the sustained winds, not factoring in how strong the wind gusts are out there. We will see later this afternoon the upper 30s and some sunshine. Right now, a lot of cloud cover, but as we head closer to lunchtime, we'll start to see gradual clearing continue to take place with a temperature then around 34 and then topping out close to 40. So it is the first day of spring. It's not necessarily going to feel like spring out there. By Friday, we'll start to see a couple of showers. So dry now aside of early flurries, and that's mainly southeast of Madison towards Milwaukee and Kenosha at this point in time. Through at least Friday night, we'll see some clearing then. I think our better chance of showers actually is going to hold off until the second half of Sunday. It'll start as rain as temperatures will be above freezing level, and then we could see some snow actually mix in with that. Little bit of an accumulation in the forecast into Monday, and then we'll start to see some warmer temperatures again Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, back into the mid to upper 40s. Just really looking forward to that 50 we're going to see tomorrow. It'll feel a lot better than the 38 we have in the forecast today.
You got that right. Slight warm up. Looking forward to it. Savannah, thank you. Well, let's get to that look of your morning commute. We have a developing right now. State Highway 19 eastbound lanes are now closed due to a crash that's near Walter Drive, close to City of Wanakee. It is not yet known if anyone is injured, but this is a great reminder, of course, this morning to take it slow because there are some slick spots out there on those roads, especially those intersections. And of course, you know, black ice that maybe you can't see out there. So we are continuing to track these road conditions this morning. We'll give you an update here in just a little bit. But in the 608, it all comes down to this morning in the Spirit of Service campaign. Josh Brighter is here now with how we got to these final moments. Josh, good morning.
Hey, good morning, guys. So Vortex officially narrowed down the 206 nominations for veterans doing something good down to 5. And now we're getting an opportunity to meet each and every one of them this week. All you have to do is click on the Spirit of Service tab on channel3000.com. There you can cast your vote for one of our top 5 veterans. You have this week and next week to support your favorite vet before we name an official winner on Wednesday, April 2nd. That person will be taking home $5,000 presented by Vortex. So the rest of this contest is all on you, our News 3 Now viewers. In no particular order, here are the names of our top 5 finalists. They are Megan Nolan, Jerry Carncross, Matthias Carter, Mike Seefeld, and Michael Adams. Again, voting ends on March 30th. I invited each of these veterans in for a 3-minute live interview this week as an opportunity to share their story with you. In our next half hour, I'll be speaking live with one of the top 5 veterans selected, so you'll get to hear from them directly. 3 down, 2 to go, and we're already off to a great start. I mean, the stories and the impact is being felt across this region, and it's pretty incredible.
Yes, and to hear these different stories, it's going to be a tough one for the community. You know, it's going to be hard.
It always is, and I mean, we get thousands of votes too, so I'm glad that we put this out to our News 3 Now viewers, and we're not the ones having to decide because it is so difficult. They're all so deserving of it.
And Vortex already had to do the hard work here with
206 nominations down to 5.
Crazy.
Yeah,
like, I'm like, how did they do this?
It's insane. I know.
Yes, tough stuff, but I'm excited to hear the next story and how they're helping their community because these vets have served and continue to serve. So.
Yeah, coming up less than 30 minutes, about 6:45.
All right, Josh, thank you.
You bet.
Remember to let Josh know what inspires you in the 608. You can reach out either on social media or email us at inthe608@WISC-TV.com for a chance to be featured.
Welcome into Ball Arena in Denver. Now, Wisconsin isn't shying away from the fact that it's been a couple of years since they won a game in the Big Dance, and even longer since they made it out of the opening weekend. But this group of Badgers plans to write their own history because, as they say, they're built for a deep run.
From the Big Ten Conference, with an overall record of 26 wins and 9 losses, coached by Greg Jarrett, the Wisconsin Badgers.
I think the biggest things were just battle tested. We played at Purdue, beat them, just made a run in the Big Ten tournament against some of the best teams in the country.
We got talent. We knew we've been talented since we first got here. We've got guys that buy in and that are passionate about the game, and
want to win for each other.
People have been here. They know what it's like to lose, and they know what it's like to win. And I think just having that under their belts, especially Steven and Carter and Max, and just knowing what it takes to get here and what it takes to win in here.
We got a good group of guys who we play together. We got a good coaching staff, and we're willing to do whatever it takes to win. So I trust my guys, and we all trust each other to make a deep run.
We know we've earned this position. This is what we worked all year for, all summer. So come here, stay locked in, embrace the moment, and then go out there and give it your all, and we'll live with the outcome from there.
It's hard to beat a team once, let alone 6 times in the same season, and that's the challenge for the Wisconsin women's hockey team. Their Frozen Four opponent is none other than Minnesota. Mark Johnson's squad has won all 5 meetings against the Gophers this year, but the Badgers know this time of the season, everything gets amped up a level or two, especially when there's a spot to play in the national championship game up for grabs.
Once you step into the playoffs, again, whatever sport you're involved in, I know when I was in the NHL, it was like when you went into the playoff, everything goes up a notch. And so your awareness, your preparation, your focus, everything is more into the details part of the game.
And that's it for sports. Have a great day.
Coming up in our next half hour, what the Trump administration is planning to do with the Department of Education. We're back right after this.
3 on a Thursday morning, putting my traffic hat on for us as we've got a little bit of an incident. This is the east side of Waunakee, Highway 19 westbound. You can see is purple. That means shut down. So if you are heading in from the DeForest, Windsor area, heading west on 19, you're going to want to find another direction towards the Waunakee area as we're seeing that crash that we've been tracking this morning. You can see some delays all across that area, even in the eastbound lanes. Again, Highway 19 shut down just to the east of Waunakee. Hopefully we'll have an update on that coming up here in just a little bit.
All right, Josh, thank you. Well, let's get to what's trending this morning. Severe storms brought plenty of lightning. I know we saw a little bit of that yesterday as well. So for one highway driver, it was way, way, way too close for comfort. Let's take a look at this video here, guys. A driver in Atlanta dodges a powerful lightning strike. Man, take a look at that. Now let's watch it again. We're gonna get a slow-mo replay of it.
Slow-mo.
Ooh, look at those bolts.
No.
I mean, like, oh, I can imagine.
See like the smoke from where it hit. Like,
have you ever been that close?
No.
Yeah.
Like I flinch in the car when it's like, a lightning storm, and I'm like, oh.
Let alone that close.
Yeah.
Although yesterday, the one that started that apartment fire, that one I heard it.
Really?
Like that was so loud, and I have friends that live in the neighborhood right next to that, and they said the whole house just shook. Like,
scary.
That's scary stuff.
That is very scary.
Glad that driver was okay though.
Yes, I'm glad they're okay, but yeah, this video, incredible. Well, pre-sale tickets start today for Lollapalooza. The Signature Chicago Festival will have top-billed artists like Olivia Rodrigo, Tyler the Creator, Luke Combs, A$AP Rocky, and Gracie Abrams. It's 4 days and includes more than 170 artists across 8 stages. The festival typically attracts nearly 500,000 people to Chicago every summer, and this year's festival runs from July 31st to August 3rd. Have you ever been to a festival of this stature?
I have never been to Lollapalooza, but I have been to Chicago Pride Weekend, which is pretty similar, I would say,
just as large.
size. Yeah, like they have obviously all of the concert venues up and the music, and so it is a lot of fun. There is something about music festivals in Chicago, they do it best. I mean, they're big and they're just incredible to see if you ever have an opportunity. Although you're gonna have a lot of people around
look
you,
at
just
that picture.
FYI.
Ooh, that's a lot
if you don't like crowds, maybe not.
Not for you.
Makes me queasy. Like I'm like this. Like it looks like it's hard to breathe just looking at it. It's hard to breathe. But obviously we're not seeing that warm weather just yet.
Yeah, I wish we were seeing the shorts and tank top weather. I mean, last Friday it was like almost 80 degrees up here.
I had them on that day.
Oh yeah, but we're not forecasting that today. We'll only be dealing with the upper 30s. At least we'll have the sunshine though, and we're still dealing with some icy spots. We'll talk about those road conditions, and we'll be dealing with spring-like temperatures returning coming up.
Well, we are taking a look at your morning commute and everything you need to know. And we are also taking a look at the presidential promise from President Donald Trump and what his plans are. And it's Badger game day. We'll tell you how fans are reacting ahead of the game in Denver. Well, good morning, everyone, and welcome to News 3 Now this morning on a Thursday. You guys, it's the first day of spring.
It doesn't feel like
It doesn't feel like it. Yeah, I was saying, obviously we had some wintry weather overnight, which is causing some problems this morning.
Yeah, my driveway, my neighborhood, our parking lot, I think are the worst. But we are tracking a crash right now in Dane County. I think we have a live look from photojournalist Mark Schilling. This is Highway 19. Just east of Wanakee. Looks like he's moved again before. He was stuck in a little traffic. It sounds like that crash is clearing up, but this was Highway 19 westbound approaching Wanakee from the east near 113. There was a crash that had all the lanes shut down there, but it looks like that is clearing up, and we'll have an update on that coming up. But clearly, it is icy in some spots out there. The main roads seem to be fine, but sometimes it's those intersections, it's the on-ramps, off-ramps that I found a little slick this morning.
Parking lot, sidewalks, basically just all those areas that are untreated. I mean, it definitely looked icy out there, so not the best start. And this is a map of the 511 Wisconsin Department of Transportation road conditions. A lot of the area reporting green, which is good. That means good winter driving conditions. But Kyrie and Josh, all those areas that saw a lot of that snow, the heavier totals, which were pretty much confined to areas north of Madison, across both northern and also central Wisconsin, that's where we're reporting slicker conditions, but not completely impossible that we're seeing that still across Dane County this morning. That's the case. But as we mentioned, it is the first day of spring. That kicked off at 4:01 this morning. I did repeat that those sidewalks and parking lots are a little slick. It's mainly because the county and state roads anyways, the blowing and drifting snow that we're seeing, because peak winds still gusting to around 45 or so miles per hour. That is blowing that snow back into those previously treated roadways. This is all since midnight, 43 miles per hour, the peak winds in Madison. We're still around that right now, but north and west a little lighter. It's still going to be breezy as a whole today. We're sitting below freezing level right now, but we'll recap when spring-like weather will return in a bit. Kyrie.
Savannah, thank you. And stay on top of the weather conditions by downloading the free First Warn Weather app. You can find that in your app store. Let's get to some top stories this morning. Administration officials say President Donald Trump plans to sign an executive order today to begin dismantling the Department of Education. Whether to shutter it completely is up to Congress. An official says the order will start the process of shifting education authority to the states. Trump says the DOE is a sign of federal overreach, but it's unclear how many states want to take over its responsibilities. Legal challenges are already in the works. State Attorney General Josh Kaul is one of 20 AGs suing Trump over this plan. The president of the National Education Association says dismantling the DOE aims a wrecking ball at the futures of 50 million students. The DOE also oversees higher education programs. It distributes about $30 billion to low-income college students via Pell Grants. The department also manages federal student loans. Loan payments won't change under the executive order. That's according to a senior administration official. It is Badger game day. They are gearing up to play Montana today at 12:30. And News 3 Now is the only station covering the game live. Sports director Zach Hanley is with the team getting ready for a tournament run.
The unique thing about the NCAA tournament is that in the first round, you play teams you don't know a lot about. Wisconsin and Montana have met just 3 other times, with the Badgers winning all 3. But Max Klesmit is pretty familiar with one member of the Grizz. Klesmit roomed with Austin Patterson when they were teammates at Wofford a couple years ago. Fast forward to now, new teams, same friendship, but this time they're opponents in the big dance. It's a cool opportunity for both guys in their last year of college basketball, and it's one they told me is a full circle moment.
Cool to see that someone you started your college career with, you're facing against in the first round of March Madness, the tournament everyone wants to be in. So it's super cool, and it's a cool story.
Full circle is literally the perfect way to explain it. Just starting out our college careers together at the same time, and like I said, becoming really good friends, and kind of getting to finish our college careers off, ending and playing each other. I think it's a really cool, way how that all kind of works out.
Now, Max said after the selection show, he did call Austin to talk a little trash, but both guys kept talking about how excited they are to face off against each other. At Ball Arena, Zach Hanley, News 3 Sports.
The Wisconsin women's hockey team begin their quest for an 8th national championship tomorrow. They are facing off against the Gophers in Minnesota. Our Andrew Banstra will be there live with the latest coverage. News 3 Now and CBS is your home for March Madness starting today at 11. There will be programming changes, but you can find your favorite News 3 Now newscast always streaming on Channel 3000 and Channel 3000 Plus app, along with our sub-channel Television Wisconsin 3.2. Our newscast will air in special times following the March Madness games on CBS. The graphic on your screen explains where you can find each newscast and when. We will also have that available on our website, channel3000.com. We're learning more about why the Vice Chancellor of Diversity at UW-Madison left his role. LeVar Charleston left in January. At the time, UW said Charleston's division was under review because of financial concerns. A week ago, the Vice Chancellor for Finance and Administration sent his findings to Chancellor Jennifer Mnuchin. The findings show Charleston gave bonuses to the majority of his staff at the end of 2023 without consulting anyone. The bonuses amounted to more than $200,000. The review also found he spent more on travel and supplies in 2023 and 2024 than pre-pandemic. The total for those 2 fiscal years was more than $4 million. The review noted several issues with systems meant to prevent the misuse of funds. It also outlined steps UW is taking to address the lack of oversight. They'll be hiring an outside firm to work on additional steps to safeguard finances. We do have a statement from UW on the findings. It reads in part, quote, "The review confirmed poor financial judgment and lack of accountability. As a result, on January 22nd, Dr. Charleston was removed from his role. An external examination of management controls is set to begin soon." Residents of Dane County's 1st District will vote in a special election. It will determine who will replace Board Supervisor Elizabeth Doyle, who announced her resignation. Doyle has been on the board since June 2019. She's stepping down because she will be moving out of District 1. The Dane County Clerk will decide when the county will hold the special election. Doyle's last day is March 31st. The city of Stoughton is warning drivers about road closures along Highway 51 next week. Starting on Monday, Spring Road to County Highway N will close until June for reconstruction. This is the first of 3 sections of Highway 51 on the east side of Stoughton. The project is expected to be completed in November. The Monona Police Department is looking for a driver in a hit-and-run incident. Take a look at this video here. Police say it happened on Sunday afternoon when the suspected driver hit a 2025 BMW in a business parking lot located on Monona Drive near East Broadway. Here you can see the suspected driver backing out, leaving without leaving any type of contact information. The BMW sustained thousands of dollars in damage. Anyone with information should contact Monona Police. 58 agencies across the state will receive more than $6.3 million in funding to improve local transportation services for seniors and people with disabilities. It's through the Specialized Transit Program. Approved projects include funding for 15 mobility management initiatives. They will help coordinate transportation services, increase capacity, and help connect people with transportation services in their areas. The U.S. Department of Transportation says 18.6 million Americans who are 5 and older report travel-limited disabilities. Happening now in the 608, vote for a local veteran you think is deserving of the Spirit of Service Award. Our partners at Vortex narrowed the more than 200 nominations down to these final 5. You can see their names on your screen right now. Voting is open on channel3000.com through March 30th. You can look for their stories on News 3 Now and our mobile app. A winner will be announced April 2nd, and that person takes home $5,000 presented by Vortex. In national news, the Federal Reserve is keeping interest rates unchanged. Analysts say the decision shows central bankers are waiting to see how the Trump administration's policy changes will affect the U.S. economy. Those adjustments include heavy tariffs, mass deportations, and downsizing the federal workforce. Many economists have predicted there will be at least 1 rate cut before the end of the year. In January, the Fed said it expected to have 2 rate cuts in 2025. The White House says President Donald Trump proposed the U.S. takeover of Ukraine's power plants to ensure security. It comes after he held a phone call with Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky yesterday. The president described their first call since the Oval Office clash as very good. Zelensky says he's on board with a partial ceasefire on energy and infrastructure. White House officials say negotiations could begin as early as this weekend in Saudi Arabia. Well, it definitely doesn't feel like it, but today is the first day of spring. The first official day of the season represents the vernal equinox in the northern hemisphere. That's when the sun aligns with the Earth's equator. But the promise of blooming gardens, outdoor adventures, and patio season is on the way.
Cannot wait.
It's on the way. I mean, not today maybe, but it's on the way.
It'll feel more like it tomorrow than what we're seeing today. But I love the green grass, those blooming trees and flowers. Can't wait till we get there.
Yes, I need us to get there and stay there until next winter season. So
even past that at that point.
Yes, that would be nice.
Yeah, we could do without the snow, right?
Yeah, I could, but I know we need. I do know that we need it. We didn't have much this year.
No, I know. So a lot of people reeling from that. Not a lot of work for those snowplow drivers, but they did see some overnight, and we're still seeing some slick spots out there because of that. Our temperatures right now are below freezing level, 28 at the Dane County Regional Airport. We'll talk about the warm up that's at least here for tomorrow and this upcoming weekend.
And our Spirit of Service Week continues as we meet our top 5 veterans. We'll have our 4th interview coming up next in the 608.
You're watching News 3 Now this morning. Moving forward.
Christine Yeager from Madison. Savannah, plan my day.
Well, if you're like Christine in Madison, it will be mild tomorrow. Today we'll be dealing with some sunshine, which will help with the temperatures at least a little bit. We're off to a cool start. Where we should be, though, that's near normal at 28. We'll see the upper 30s later today. It's cloudy right now, but gradual clearing going to take place by mid to late morning, and that carries over into the afternoon. It is really breezy still, not as windy as what we had yesterday or overnight, but our winds are still peaking out about 35 to 40 miles per hour. A little higher than that across Madison and down towards Janesville. We're no longer seeing any snow falling at this point in time. We had minimal accumulations. The further towards central Wisconsin and especially northern Wisconsin you get, that's where we had the higher accumulations, just trace amounts here across Madison. All this snow, though, this is a loop over the last 3 hours. A little bit near Kenosha, but that's still driving icy or slick spots out there. Anything that's untreated, parking lots specifically and sidewalks, not off to the best shape this morning. And then because of those windy conditions that I talked about this morning and that'll carry into the afternoon, at least till about mid-morning, we will be dealing with drifting and blowing snow, where winds are going to steadily come down to about 25 to 30 miles per hour. But anything that did go untreated, that wind is blowing that snow back across those roads, especially in rural areas and open roadways. Let's time out the winds and how strong they'll be through the rest of the day and then into tomorrow. You notice the arrows slowing down a little bit. This is 2 p.m. after lunchtime. We're still dealing with winds gusting between 15 up to 25 miles per hour. They'll die down overnight, still going to see about 5 to 10 miles per hour, but that will not be as big of a factor compared to what we have seen yesterday and will see during the afternoon today. They are going to pick back up, so Friday, tomorrow afternoon, is still going to be breezy once we get to mid to late morning, and that will carry into the afternoon. During that time frame, as far as precipitation goes, I don't think we're going to see much, maybe a stray shower. That can't be ruled out. You see those spotty areas of green on the future track radar. A lot of cloud cover, though, and at least it will be more mild compared to what we're seeing today. It'll feel more spring-like for Friday afternoon. Temperatures topping out in the lower 50s for Friday, and then we'll stay at least consistent and near normal through the weekend. The mid to lower 40s. Our next chance of precipitation is going to come on Sunday. Rain, and then maybe a little bit of snow mixing in with that as well, Josh.
All right, Savannah, thank you. If you want Savannah to plan your day, she'd love to do so. Just record a video like you saw earlier, share your name and where you live, then send it our way. You can send it via our website, the First Warn Weather app, Facebook Messenger, or email. Then watch around this time every morning to see if you come on the air. Well, it is 6:46 this morning in the 608. We're meeting the finalists for Spirit of Service all this week. I invited each of our top finalists to do a live interview with me right here on News 3 Now. And today we're meeting Mike Seefeld. Mike, congratulations on being named the top 5, and thank you so much for your service.
Thanks a lot, Josh. Great to meet you.
So first off, I know you're kind of a fly under the radar kind of a guy, but when you heard that you were nominated and you made the top 5, what was going through your mind?
Well, I found out it was my good buddy Angel Paul and my mom that was kind of in the cahoots on it. Like you said, I like to kind of fly under the radar, but once I heard about all the finalists just being considered for the honor, that means a great deal to me. A lot of hard work and efforts going to a lot of the programs that I support.
And you've been serving a long time.
Yes, sir. 26 years total. I came off an active duty stint last April, so now I'm a part-time member of the Army National Guard out of the great state of Virginia, part of the 29th Infantry Division.
So you live in the Portage community, and this community is pretty special to you.
It is. It's very special to me. I came off of mobilization in Afghanistan, my last combat tour in 2020. Moved to the city of Portage, became a very active member in the community. Like I said, came off active duty. Started my own business doing pressure washing. Got very involved with the football program and some of the weightlifting programs there in Portage.
So your business, pressure washing, you really try to give back to veterans and hire veterans to be able to help you do the work.
Yes, sir. Again, I started last April. I hired a lot of veterans, kind of in a short-term role, kind of get them on their feet, give them some mental counseling, help them with the financials, and then ultimately find them full-time employment.
Why is it, your mission to give back to veterans in this way?
I was raised in a kind of a community where there's a propensity to serve. I grew up in the great city of Colby, Wisconsin. Was raised by a single mother, Cindy Austin, taught me all those values, very much a servant leader. I really like investing in the youth. Came back, like I said, from a lot of combat tours, and I found another way to give back in many different areas.
Oh, that's incredible. You also love kids, and
I
you
do.
love to coach, and that's been a big part of your life as well.
Yeah, shout out to the 6th grade football program. 3 great coaches up there, Mike Knockreiner, Justin Ostrowski, and Kent Telford are some guys that I coach with. In the off season, I run a weightlifting program that focuses on improving oneself both physically and mentally.
Okay, so I have to ask you, if you were to win the $5,000, what would you do with it?
So every cent's going to be donated back. A couple of organizations I want to donate to. One is Shared Blessings. It's an organization that supports families with special needs. I imagine most of that money they're kind of newly established, will go to support race buggies for what they do, taking kids out on long runs and stuff. And then the second organization will be the Portage Football Club. I'm looking to keep improving there and be involved in the community.
I mean, you've made it your life's work of giving
Sure.
back, and you're not stopping now the way it seems.
Yes, sir. Not at all. I just want to thank Channel 3, especially you. You guys do some great, good news stories. Not a lot of that in the media right now, so I thank you guys for that. And then obviously Vortex for putting this together, and all the 206 candidates that were nominated.
Isn't that incredible?
That's amazing. It's what makes everything go. So I want to thank and congratulate all those people as well.
Well, hey, thank you again.
Yes, sir.
Thanks for your service,
You
and
bet.
good luck, sir.
You bet.
It's been
Thanks.
great getting to know you.
Thank you.
Coming up in the morning sprint, the local water park that will soon be under new ownership. But first, if you have a little kid turning 3 soon, please let us know so we can show their picture on TV. We're back right after this.
6:53, time for the morning sprint. We're taking a live look at your road conditions this morning as you head out the door. Things looking good, but you may run into a few slick spots along the way. So just make sure you're taking it easy, especially in those intersections. In other news, President Trump is expected to sign an executive order today aimed at dismantling the Department of Education. It's one of his key campaign promises. Fully eliminating the Department of Education would require congressional approval. Legal challenges are already in the works. State Attorney General Josh Kaul is one of 20 AGs suing Trump over this plan. The government has until noon today to answer questions regarding this week's deportation of Venezuelan migrants to El Salvador. A D.C. district judge ordered the Trump administration to provide additional details on 2 flights by today. The administration allegedly defied the judge's order, temporarily halting the deportations over the weekend. The Badgers are ready to hit the court in Denver. They'll play Montana today at 12:30. News 3 Now and CBS is your home for March Madness, so there will be some programming changes, but you can find your favorite News 3 Now newscast always streaming on Channel 3000 and Channel 3000 Plus apps, along with our sub-channel Television Wisconsin 3.2. Our newscast will air in special times following the March Madness games on CBS. We now know Vice Chancellor of Diversity LeVar Charleston left his role at UW because of financial irresponsibility. Findings show Charleston gave unauthorized bonuses to the majority of his staff. He also spent more on travel and supplies in 23 and 24 than pre-pandemic. The review noted several issues with systems meant to prevent the misuse of funds. It also outlined steps UW is taking to address the lack of oversight. The company that owns Dollywood is buying the company that owns Noah's Ark in the Wisconsin Dells. Hershend has announced it will acquire all U.S. properties owned by Palace Entertainment, including Noah's Ark. The park is known for its 4D dive-in theater, 2 wave pools, and the world's largest King Cobra water slide. Hershend says no immediate operational changes are planned. The city of Stoughton is warning drivers about road closures along Highway 51 next week. Starting on Monday, Spring Road to County Highway N will close for reconstruction. This will last until June. This is the first of 3 sections of Highway 51 on the east side of Stoughton. The project is expected to be completed in November.
We've got the upper 30s and some sunshine later in the day. There's still some slick spots out there. Be mindful of that. Untreated roadways, areas, surfaces, parking lots, and sidewalks. So just take it easy. We're under freezing level right now. It'll feel more like spring tomorrow. 50s.
All right, 50s. Let's get it. All right, we'll have a news and weather update in 30 minutes.